How to develop the silent healing power, Murdo MacDonald-Bayne. The great central fact that establishes in man the secret of success, health, and happiness is that the infinite life is at the back of all and is expressing itself through all, mankind being its highest manifestation upon this earth. The great central fact in human life is that this infinite life is the central point from which all human thought and effort must proceed. This means that in your consciousness and mind flows all the qualities of the infinite life when we identify ourselves with the infinite life. By doing so, we bring into our own life the same mode of action, the same great laws and forces inherent in the infinite life. It was in this way that the great prophets, sages, and saviors in world history gained their great inspiration. All men and women who have become truly great have recognized and realized this great truth. For in fact, the more capable we are of realizing this great truth, so is the degree of our ability to achieve, manifest, and conquer. Most people prevent the flow of these higher forces by their ignorance of the fact that they are the focal point through which these forces must express themselves. Therefore, they deprive themselves of the very thing that can raise them to the very pinnacle of success, health, and happiness. Only when we are aware of this truth can inspiration of the highest nature flood our consciousness and there find the secret to the conquest of all things. Few can realize the enormous power of the God-man because the mind is taken up with limitation and effects and never seems to realize that they are but illusions of the mind. They are saturated with defeat before they begin to do anything. They are caught up in the limitations of the human mind and have not yet realized the conqueror who is waiting to enter into the field of action. No one can acquire the awareness of their true nature without direction of thought. Thought must be turned back upon itself before the process can be understood. We must think about the process of thinking and not so much about things, and this is the first step to the control of our thoughts. Thinking is the most important thing in our lives and the most interesting when once started upon. It leads to higher and higher planes, and there can be no end to it, for it is infinite in nature. When this is grasped fully by the individual, there is infused into the consciousness something that was not there before. Some call it illumination. The next fact we have to consider in connection with the process of thought is that all feeling and emotion, all conduct and action follow thought. A great many people are copyists, they do not originate. They follow the beaten track made by another. They never begin to exploit their own resources of infinite wealth within themselves. Thus they find only the crumbs that fall from the master's table. It is only when we begin to enter into our own hidden resources do we find the fountain of wisdom and power beyond all our expectations. When we accept the views of those who fail to get beyond the mortal sense, we can never develop the silent healing power to any extent, for we must experience always that which is beyond our ordinary experiences. The cosmic mind is active and alive everywhere, every moment of time, now, and calls upon us to awaken from our hypnotic sleep into that awakened consciousness of the infinite life that is expressing itself through us now. Many are impotent because of their fears and indecisions caused by the lack of thinking in reality. They succumb to events and conditions that have really no power over them. They yield to the slightest opposition, unaware of the unlimited and inexhaustible resources at their command. The kingdom of God is at hand. This means that all is possible through your recognition of this kingdom. This is the great secret of conquest. Refuse to be bound by past weaknesses. These things were of the past before you realized the great secret of the power within. Most people who live today have permitted the limited ideas of the past to fetter their immortal being, permitted their life and mind to be dwarfed and dulled by the limitation, narrowness, bigotry, and separation, and their cosmic self lies asleep and impotent for want of knowing. Awake now and be the conqueror that you are in reality. Only for your belief in your fears and phobias you would have awakened long ago. Think your own thoughts, come to your own conclusions, and go fearlessly forward in the great conquest of your soul's achievement to develop the silent healing power that overcomes all things. You have never yet called upon the reserves of the cosmic power within you. The infinite life is ever ready to spring into action through your consciousness, when your consciousness becomes aware of it. Disease, poverty, bad habits, and fear have never touched the cosmic power that is deeply rooted in your very being. Then arise and move fearlessly into the accomplishment of your heart's desire.
then shake off that hypnotic spell of fear, want, disease and death. By constant thought of the indwelling infinite life and by identifying yourself with it, it will become your servant, and whatever you ask the same shall be yours. If you are infirm and weak, why fight your way out of your misery, when your misery has no power? Nothing has any power over you except when your mind ascribes power to it. Use your cosmic power to overcome. Conquest comes through understanding. Denying the condition is just as useless as if you were in a dark cell and denied the fact that it was dark, or if you sit there and affirm then that it is light, it will avail you nothing. The way is to get out into the sunlight and identify yourself with the infinite life. Then be up and doing. Action is conquest. The cosmic neither denies nor affirms. The cosmic is always constructive, active. Become one with it. Now go out and conquer. The indwelling infinite life is intelligence, and God has placed in you this intelligence to achieve, to act for you intelligently because it cannot do otherwise. This is the law of life itself. The power to be, the power to health, the power to achieve, and the power to enjoy an ever-increasing abundance of every good thing is possible. Then awaken from your self-imposed dream of impotence and really live. Arise from the dead and use the silent healing power. The more I can turn your gaze towards the indwelling infinite life, the more I have done for you. It is better than the finest of silver and the rarest of gold. No treasure is like unto it. You can now turn your back on your negative conditions and face the way you wish to go. If your negative conditions are severe, you will know them even if you turn your back on them, but let these conditions now be the starting point for success and conquest. When your mind is turned in the right direction and you know the truth of your true identity, the cosmic forces will rush to your aid. They become your servant. If a fraction of the energy and time spent in bemoaning was used in constructive action with a proper mental attitude, that which you would obtain would astonish you beyond words. The harvest is ready and plentiful, it only remains for you to reap it. Most people, by concentrating upon their weaknesses, their ill health, their lack, produce more and more of its kind. Remember that to react to effects does not cure the trouble. Your ideas and fears produce their kind. So do your thoughts of courage, confidence, and understanding also produce their kind. The seeds you sow are the causes. Discern these and you will be free. You must do this work yourselves. I cannot do it for you. What I can do is to show you the way. Cultivate the cosmic consciousness for beautiful other pathways. Sublime the goal of those who follow the path of the divine voice within, which leads to the heart of God. Be simple, be broad-minded. See good in all things. The kernel of my message this month is the union of the simple human being with his divine source, with the roots of himself linked up with the all. And this core that is within all is the divine expression of the omnipotent omnipresence within the individual. This divinity that is within the individual is within everyone and with God at the same time. This is the most sublime adventure known to man, to know your brother as yourself. Thus the final enactment of the great secret of conquest, to develop the silent healing power, is to know your brother, to know yourself, then you will know God. We are neither sinners nor saints. We are neither sculptors nor artists. Of the man with the hoe or a rod. We are neither kings nor emperors. With armor as the symbol of right. These are just ideas of the mortal's expression. We are the presence of the light. MB. Repeat this several times till you feel the truth of it. My body, soul, and mind are the instruments of God. My life is His life. My love is His love. My desires are His will. He sees through my eyes. He hears through my ears. I am His beloved and I express His love and wisdom to all. This is my silent healing power. My peace and my love remain with you. Yours sincerely, 𝗦 MacDonald-Bayne.